Whoa. I just thought about something. You're talking about 90s all the time. There's something from the 90s I haven't shown y'all yet. You know, today we got Uvu, we got Netflix, got, Hulu, and I don't say Netflix again. We got Blu-ray, DVD, 4K. Heck, we even got, the digital download. Back in my day, back in the 90s, all we had to watch videos on is a little something called a VHS. Well, I say a little something. If I get my hands on it. That's not a VHS. A thing where you can convert a little VHS tape to a big VHS tape. It's what you call a VHS cassette. If I can find one of those, I'll show you what a VHS cassette looks like. But the VHS itself... Crap, I'm knocking everything down. Looks a little something like this. This is the VHS. This is all we had to watch movies and videos on back in the day. See that? And that's what the movie's on. That's film right there. This is all we had to watch a movie on back in the day. VHS tape. We also recorded our home videos with it. Today we record stuff with our cell phones and other stuff. Back then we had to have a camera set up on our shoulder. Like those videos y'all see of mine from the 90s, it's recorded on one of these. You have a camera big enough to fit this thing, you see it compared, You have a camera that fits on your shoulder that this went inside of and it recorded to. This one right here, the size that it is, you can record up to 8 hours of video on one take. I know nowadays you can record a lot more than that on one area, but this one, on this VHS, you can record up to 8 hours. Somewhere in here I also have how we listened to music back in the day too, called a cassette tape. I gotta find that and show it to you. I'm just not sure exactly where it's at. But I know a place I can go and show it to you. So yeah, at some point soon I will show y'all a cassette tape and how those look, what we listened to music on back then. I know there's some people out there like, well, I know older stuff, and I'm looking outside because my girlfriend's on her way to come get me. Go do a few things. But yeah, this is called a VHS tape. It's what we had to watch movies on back in the 90s. This is a film that went through a thing called a VCR. I need to find a VCR and show it to you. The VCR read that strip inside that tape, and the pictures came to your TV. Ain't it great? Yeah. But yeah, I gotta show y'all more of the technology of the 90s when I find more. About while I'm waiting to get picked up here today. Go to iTunes or whatever you want. Just download the songs you want. Download any song you want in the world. My day. I'm gonna make a mixtape or get songs for somebody that you know. Instead of recording, get the CD to your iPod, your Zune. Of course, nobody really remembers Zune anymore either. I think Zune was in the 90s. I did look and see if Zune was in the 90s or not. Anyways, instead of having like, all the other outlets, the internet for music and all that. I remember back in the day, and some of you people that grew up in the 90s too remember this, where if you want to make a mixtape or get a song you wanted to keep, you had to put a cassette tape in the radio and hit record. And then you hope you hit stop recording before the commercial came on. And then you have those times that really pissed you off because there's a song that you really wanted to hear and you really wanted to keep, but the freaking DJ wouldn't shut up until the person started singing. So you had that once the music cut out because the freaking DJ wouldn't shut up. I'm not, I ain't listened to the radio in so long because of all the music I have on my phone and all that. I don't know if they still do it nowadays. I remember back then the DJ would start talking, and as the song started playing, they started talking really fast. They started talking faster. It's like they had certain stuff they wanted to get out or something they wanted to advertise before the person started singing the song. So you have the first, 30 seconds or more of a song cut out because the freaking DJ wouldn't shut up. Also, with those VHSs, you could put them in a VCR, leave your house, and set it up to start recording a show. That, you know, we didn't have DVR or nothing like that. You had to record them onto that. And you could either set up a timer on your VCR and record at a certain time, or what you did is you, like my mom used to do, if there's a show that came on at a certain time and we didn't have the timer set up, she will just set the tape in there, hit the record button, and let it record the entire 8 hours. And that way she knew where the show was, so that way you could go into it and fast forward to the show you wanted to watch. Another thing too, you know, instead of skipping the commercials with the press of the button, you had to hit a button called a fast forward and actually fast forward to it. Now, speaking of VHSs, I remember when it was amazing back in the day. You had you can rewind it in VCR, but I remember back in the day, I thought it was amazing the first time I ever seen one. Instead of hitting the button to rewind the video in the VCR, you actually had a machine called an automatic rewinder. You stuck the VHS tape into it, close it down, and it would rewind the tape for you. I thought that was amazing the first time to see one of those. How many of y'all remember them?